These transparent longboards that have been going viral are made by a company based out of Utah called Ghost Longboards. Basically, if you want something that can get you from point A to point B without doing anything fancy, then these are pretty solid. Now, the other reason I can see someone getting this type of board is if you want like an art piece to hang in your office or your bedroom or any other place. Really cool part about Ghost Longboards is they allow you to customize the design of the deck however you want. The deck is made of plexiglass, which is basically why most people trip out when they see this. They just look so futuristic, especially paired with LED wheels. It is pretty thick, about 3/4 of an inch, which is basically double of what most wooden decks are. Before riding this thing, I didn't think it was gonna flex at all, but I was wrong. It actually does flex quite a bit. It's obviously not gonna flex as much if you get a shorter board. This one is 40 inches long. Honestly, in normal riding conditions, I was expecting this deck to be fairly slippery, but it's actually kind of grippy. I wouldn't say there's any need for grip tape. It kind of all just comes down to your riding preferences. Next, we have the hardware, which is your standard bolts, nuts, and washers. The nuts have a self-locking plastic to ensure they don't loosen over time, which is pretty standard and overall just nice to see. The bushings are barrel bushings, which are the most stable kind. Similar to the hardware, there's not much room for improvement when it comes to these components of the board. Overall, solid quality. Moving on to the trucks, they're 7-inch reverse kingpins, which are super common among longboards because they're the most stable. You can turn pretty sharp on these. It just depends on how loose you have the truck nut. And finally, we have the wheels, which are 70mm blue LED wheels. Now, at the time of recording this, Ghost does offer 3 different types of wheels, which are the LED wheels, shark wheels, and standard color wheels. If you're gonna be mostly riding on smoother pavement, then I'd suggest just going with the standard colored wheels. But if you're gonna be riding on rougher pavement, then I'd probably go with the shark wheels. The main thing that I notice about riding these LED wheels is that they feel much harder. And I think that's because of the LED component in the wheel. It really only allows for a little amount of rubber. So as a result, you can feel bumps and cracks much more while riding these LED lights. It's nothing crazy, but just something I think you should be aware of. All right, so after reviewing every single part on this board, I'm gonna now go over 3 things that I like about it and 3 things that I dislike about it. Starting with the dislikes, the first one is that I noticed that the nose chips very easily if you hit curbs or pavement. The solution to that is just getting one of their rubber nose guards. So that's just something maybe to keep in mind. The second thing is that since these boards are made of plexiglass and transparent, it shows fingerprints and dirt much easier. From a distance, you can't really tell, but once you look up close, you can definitely see fingerprints and anything else that got on this board while riding it. And finally, since the decks are thicker than normal wooden ones, the overall weight of these boards are more than usual. You could get something smaller than the one that I have, and it'll obviously be more lightweight, but honestly, there are better options when it comes to something that is portable. As far as the positives go, I love the overall aesthetic of these boards. I mean, this is why these boards are so popular. They just look so cool. Second, I love how they allow you to customize it how you'd like. If you have any questions about Ghost Longboards, drop a comment below and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. If you found this video helpful at all, I'd really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you in another video later.